Punisher was out for revenge. He was out to take back the streets. He took a lot of people's lives, people that he thought deserved it, but what gave him the right to do so? Did he really deserve to do such a thing just because they were awful people? These questions rose through his mind a couple times, but he always put them on the downside until one day it was over for him. A mob would surround him. Even the Punisher couldn't keep up with an entire mafia, as he was no more. Suddenly he would wake up in a new reality, the Hazbin universe. First, he had no idea where he was, but then he started to realize something. He knew he wasn't going to heaven. Sure, he may have brought down righteous judgment to people who he believed deserved it, but he took too many people's lives away, even if they were mean people, even if they were the worst of the worst. He still wasn't going to heaven, and he knew that when he chose his life. As the Punisher continued to walk around, he had no idea where to go. He had no idea what to do, as he would see his skin was now red, as he had claws like metal, and well, he could also move a lot faster. He was always agile, but now he was even more agile, as he had cheetah-like legs and a red-like body. It seemed like his body adapted to the way he fought. As he was walking around, he had no idea what to do until he bumped into someone named Charlie.
Charlie would turn around and say, "You seem new. Did you just get here?" He would look down and say, "Yeah, I did. I guess I deserve to be down here." Wow, already accepting your fate. Now that's interesting. That's progress, you know. If you want to be redeemed, you can go to my hotel. Redeemed, he said? He didn't think this would be at all what it's like. He thought it'd be suffered here, tortured here, like he made others feel, even if they deserved it in his book. The Punisher nodded, as then he went to the hotel. As he walked in there, everyone began to look at him, as Angel looked and said, "Hello, hottie." As they all looked at him, Angel would begin to flirt with him, but the Punisher tuned him out. This all started as a vengeance trip. This all started as a way to get revenge for what they did to his family, what they did to his children. But now he doesn't know what to do. Now he's down here and it's all his fault. As Angel would say, "Hello, I'm flirting with you. I'm hot." As Punisher would look at him and say, "I'm sure you are hot, but I don't like men." As then he would walk up to his new room. As Angel said, "What was that about?" Husk would say, "He has a lot on his mind." You can tell by looking at him, he's a man clouded by judgment. Seems like he actually wants to be reformed here. Unlike you, Angel. Angel would say, "Hey, what did I do? You're just here for a place to stay." Besides, I guess only time will tell how he changes. Charlie would say, "Yeah, only time will tell." As the next day passed, he would walk down the stairs. As Charlie would greet him, "Hello, I got a surprise for you, group therapy." The Punisher would say, "Do I have to?" "Yes, you do." As they would all sit down, Vaggie would say, "So, why are you here?"
What did you do to end up here? The Punisher would simply look at her and go, "Vengeance. I committed vengeance. That is why I'm here." Charlie would say, "Really? Tell us." And Punisher would give the first and 2 seasons of the Netflix series Hawaii's Here, not the comic version. As they were both completely shocked. Suddenly Charlie said, "Wow, that really happened?" Angel would say, "Wow, you avenged your family. That's interesting." Alistair would walk up towards him and cast a spell to see if he was telling the truth, and spoiler alert, he was.
Alistair would say, "That's one heck of a story, and it turns out you're telling the truth." What an entertaining tale. That would be a great radio show. As in Punisher's radio. Who listens to radio anymore? As Alistair would sigh and say, "It doesn't seem like you know the good taste." As Alistair would then walk off. As the Punisher would then sigh. As Charlie would say, "Good job from opening it up. You protected your family and your city. However, you went to two extremes. You need to stop hurting people." The Punisher would agree. As for the first time forever, it was time for him to put up his weapons. It was time for him to no longer be the Punisher, to no longer hurt others.
As he would contemplate what his life was, what was it about now that he could no longer fight, now that he could no longer put himself in that direction? What would he do with his life? And as he continued to think, suddenly someone would walk into his room. It was Alistair.
As Alistair would look at him, "Why so glum? You were strong on Earth. That makes you very strong down here. Why do you give up fighting? Why do you give up punishing people? Do it down here." There's a lot of friendly people down here, but there's a lot of terrible people too. Why not continue? The Punisher would say, shut up. I didn't do it for fun or joy, or even for the revenge. Sure, at first it was started for revenge, but eventually it became for punishment. They deserved to be punished, and now I deserve to be punished. It's that simple. Alistair would say, do you really think that? Are you really not going to try to? Punisher would say no. As Alistair would sigh, he walked out. He thought maybe he could make a deal with him, appeal to his vengeful nature, but he couldn't. As the days passed, things would continue like in canon, as eventually Charlie and Vaggie would have troubles. As Charlie was crying in her room, Alistair was going to help her, but then Punisher walked up in front of him. And Alistair said, what are you doing? I'm giving her advice. As he walked in, you feel angry towards her, don't you? You feel like she betrayed you. Charlie would say, yeah. Anger never leads to anything good. Look at my life. I ruined everything with my anger. Sure, I may have punished those who did wrong, but look where I am now. Forgiveness is the key. That's what I've learned. Alistair would sigh and say, boring. Anyway, let me start you off with some information to help. As Alistair talked to Charlie just like in canon, the Punisher would sit down at the bar. As Husk would say, hey, I heard what you said to Alistair and Charlie. That took a lot of guts. Is that true? You're never going to lift up your weapon again? Punisher would say, that's right. But what about the battle? I won't fight in it. I have another plan. A plan to show them my humanity. They're angels after all. If they don't respond well, they're hypocrites. Husk would spit out his drink. He couldn't believe this. The Punisher, the man who fought his entire life, the man who showed his way through punishing, through taking care of criminals, is now going to show him his humanity and refuse to fight? Suddenly, he would hear a voice. You're really gonna do that? As he turned around, it was Angel. You know that's dumb, right? Someone like you, yes, I know I'll probably perish, but I still want to do it. I don't want to hurt anyone, and I want to give you a chance to end things peacefully. Even though I know it won't end well, it's still a chance. Angel would say, you're a sweet guy. Too bad you don't like men. You want to give it a try, though? Angel would say as he winked. As the Punisher would instantly say, I'm good, as they both laughed awkwardly. As the Punisher then went up, and he knew what was going to happen. He knew the battle was going to happen, so he prepared to prepare something. He was going to change as a person. He was going to show everyone he was a changed man. And he was going to show everyone that he can make things better without violence. As the Punisher simply waited until eventually Adam himself would arrive. As his angelic army came down to wipe them all out, the Punisher would walk out. But this time he would have no weapons in hand. He would simply lift up his hands. Adam would say, are you surrendering? Dude, that's not how we do things. Punisher says, I lived my entire life like yours, punishing other people. Of course, mine were, well, more deserving, but that still doesn't make an excuse. I wanted to give you a chance to end things peacefully, to change your ways. Adam would laugh and say, what kind of trap is this? As he flew down, he would walk up to the Punisher and be shocked. It wasn't a trap. He wasn't holding any weapon or nothing. He just looked at him. After Adam got done laughing, he used his angelic weapon straight to his neck, but he wasn't scared. He didn't do anything. He just looked at him. As Adam was shocked, he really didn't know what to do. Adam just continued to stare at him, not knowing what to do until he said, you know what, you're right. It's time to start anew. Punisher would say, you're lying, aren't you? Yep. Oh well. As then, Adam would exterminate the Punisher. The Punisher was gone, his soul completely erased. He was a man confused, a man that turned his entire life into vengeance and gave it up for hope, just to have it be blown back in his face, or so everyone thought. As he would wake up in a new place, this place was heaven, as Sarah and Emily both looked at him. Sarah was horrified. She couldn't believe this, someone like him gone to heaven, as Emily hugged him and said, welcome to heaven, you probably want to see your family, don't you? As then the Punisher cried tears of joy. Finally, he'll be able to see his family. Finally, he'll be able to start something new. As he smiled and said, yes, I do. And that's going to leave things off. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what I thought of this video down in the comments. And I know that a lot of you might not like this story, but to be honest with you, I didn't want to do this because the Punisher, I'm not a big fan. Now, I know when I was little, I would love stories like Rambo, Punisher, or John Wick, where they get, they just get pushed too far. They end up rising up against society, end up taking out the bad guys. But it's just, I don't know, at some point, it just feels like
needless brutality for the sake of brutality. Like, it just gets old after a certain point of just watching these guys do it over and over again. I get it. They're bad. They're awful people. They deserve this over and over again. So I thought, what if, all that stuff is kind of not worth it? Because he is taking the laws into his own hands. He is kind of breaking the law. He is kind of, you think it's justified because he's doing it to awful people. But does that really make it justified for you to do all that? That's kind of the question. And I decided to have this universe say it, and that's not really justified. And for him to try to move past it to get his family back. I feel like that was way more interesting than just him pick up angelic weapons, fight, wipe out. By the way, shout out to this guy. He suggested the idea. I don't know if he'll be happy with it. Probably not. He probably expected him to go all out action-y. But yeah, I changed it up a bit. Hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, I don't know how many views this is gonna get because the Punisher's not really a hero or a villain. He's kind of an anti-hero. And usually I do villains here, but I started doing heroes in Hazbin because, I needed the views, baby. I needed those sweet, sweet views. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean. But anyway, yeah. And recently I've been doing, What If So-and-so Raised Charlie, which is a great series and it's going very well. I've also been thinking about adding all my Hazbin videos together into one giant video. I think that would go very, very well. I think a lot of you guys might like that. I think a lot of you guys might enjoy that. Let me know if you want that. Let me know if you would watch that. Let me know if you would enjoy it. And by all my Hazbin videos, I don't mean the series videos. I mean each one that was individually made and added together. I think that would do really, really well. Anyway, I hope you're having an amazing day. I hope things are going well for you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And hit that share button. Hit that thanks button if you want to give me a little tip. I'd really appreciate it. You all mean the world to me. I really love you. I really appreciate you. And I'm glad you're here. And I'm glad I have an audience like you that keeps going for me. I'm glad I have an audience like you that watches me. An audience like you that supports me. Because it really means a lot to have people like you. It means the world to me. So, c'est la vie.